Welcome back to the channel, friends. Once again, got a story to tell you. The title of this one is Stringtown Road to Dry Tavern with narration. So we're going to start out in a little village called Paisley, and other people call it, as the text says right there, Live Easy, and I've heard both. And it's located on the side, the bank, that'd be the western side of the Monongahela River near Masontown, Pennsylvania. And right now, we're heading out the Live Easy Road, or the Paisley Road, heading back toward the river, which is, that would be east of us right now. And we did a lot of camping along this road. It goes out here straight ahead, as you can see the road, for about 1.5 miles and hangs a left. And if it didn't, it'd go right into the river. So it's elevated way up above the river, but right where the road turns to the left, there would have been a time when you would have seen me, my Uncle Frank, and my cousin Tink heading down a trail off to the right where the curve is, going through the woods and down over a rather steep walk downhill through the trees until we got to the side of what was called Little Whiteley. Maybe you've heard me talk about Whiteley Creek. That's a bigger one. This is Little Whiteley, and we would follow it down to where it ran into the river. And on that mouth right there, we would set up our camp. And then also, back up here, on top where we're going right now, and you can see the road going out ahead of us, is an intersection out there. And on top of the hill to the right, over top of that hill, that was called Jew Hill. There was a town called Nemacolin, named after the Indian chief, or the Native American chief. And we camped off to the left of this road, too, way out in some nice big trees out there before. We camped around everywhere here. But we get to this intersection, we're going to go straight across. The road to the left goes into Carmichael's, and the road to the right goes up over and down into a coal mining town called Nemacolin. But we're going straight ahead. And out that road, on the right-hand side, there's a new power plant. They tore the one down that we had back here by Masontown and built a new one out there. And as we go out this road here, there's going to be a car come out to the right, and it looks like the road's going somewhere, like it's a nice road, but it just goes to the power plant parking lot. It's a dead end out there. And right beyond that, after you see that car, right beyond that, next thing we come to is you'll see one time we were camped out there. There's a place called the Beaches. It's kind of a spooky place. It's a valley that's shaped like a basin. It's full of huge den trees, oak trees and beech trees. And over the hill was a farmer that had this toothless St. Bernard dog. Well, we left Tink standing at the intersection on that old country road up on top of the ridge one night, so we could walk 1.5 miles to 2 miles back to Nemacolin to get Frank's guitar, because he was a really good guitar player, and we used to sing country and western music out there around the campfire at night, the three of us. And Tink said he would stay back there and watch the campsite since we had a small fire going. Well, right before we left, Frank had told us a spook story about a thing he called the grave digger. He said it was kind of like a bipedal canine, kind of a werewolf-looking thing that roamed their parts out there in the woods and things around this area. And we didn't mean to do that, but that's what he heard right before we left. And he was standing at the intersection of that road on top of the hill, where the road went out to an old apple house that's where we were staying at. We had set our tent up inside this old abandoned apple house. And that dog was standing in the trees on a high bank that let loose, and he come sliding and tumbling down over that hill and hit Tink in the back of the legs, and Tink took off running in circles. He didn't want to run. He wanted to run, but he knew he had to come back, had a fire going out there. He ran around on top of that hill in the dark, and in a three-way intersection, running around in circles while the old St. Bernard was laying there looking at him. When we got back, he told us all about it. Oh, my goodness. They said that dog wouldn't hurt a flea. He couldn't hurt anything. He was so old, all of his teeth fell out. But he's big, and he's hairy, and he come a-sliding out of them pine trees on top of that bank. So anyway, now we're passing that area. And this has taken us out to the beginning, or the front edge of Stringtown Road. And the intersection down here ahead of us, just a little ways, had an old general store back about 70 years ago. And had an old general store, and the man who ran it, his first name was Bump. His whole name was Bump Roland, and it's not there any longer. There's a house there now, but you'll see. We'll go down here and we'll turn right past the house that used to be a general store. Of course, it's all remodeled now, but it's a nice house. But it was a lot older at one time. And we'll start out from there on Stringtown. And it's kind of like Paisley. I think that's probably where it's got its name at, with the fact that it's just all strung out through there. And there is no more store, no more general store, no gas stations or any such thing, just homes people live in. But you see that hill out there. On this side of that hill is a muddy creek, a big creek, and it's flowing from the left to the right downhill into the river, which is, we're going to turn to start heading toward where it actually goes into the river. Here we go. Now straight ahead of us is the Monongahela River, about 2 miles. And in those pine trees there, my wife Vivian's grandmother used to live. And when Viv was a little girl, she used to visit her back in there. The house is not there any longer. But the river, the stream, Muddy Creek, is off to the left, parallel with this road, about 60 feet wide, the stream is. It's not muddy at all. It has a rock bottom. And I used to walk it from Carmichael's about a total of 3 miles without coming out of the stream, walking it all the way down to the river as an adventure and something to do. And several times I did it by myself, but once in a while a friend would go with me. And I remember the first time walking down through there that probably had gone about 300 yards or so. My legs started itching. A calf of my leg started itching, so I went over and stepped up on some nice big, they had some big boulders in that stream too that you could get up on into easy, and staying out of the mud. And when I got up out of the water, I looked here, I had two about 4 to 5 inch long leeches on my calf of my leg, and that's what was itching, and they were black as coal. And as it turned out, I had to stop 3 times before I got to the river to take those leeches off of me. And one day I gathered up 42 snakes, water snakes, took them home, Made cages for them. I knew I was going to do that. I had the cages made already. And the kids in outskirts of Carmichael's there called Fairdale would give me a quarter if I would let them go back there and look at all them snakes. And so I did. And I ended up getting a club going. The guys who used to follow me out in the woods used to go out and catch chipmunks and flying squirrels out in the woods around here. And I have to tell you about that sometime, how you can catch a chipmunk. And I probably shouldn't have done it because I used to sell them. There was a biology teacher that would pay me like $2 for each chipmunk. I asked him how many he needed, and then I'd go get them. And here I found out later on, I believe he was dissecting them to teach his class. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't have done that if I'd have known it. Anyway, now we are heading down toward the mouth of Muddy Creek where it flows into the river. And down here you're going to see there's a horizontal tree way up high in the top of the other trees. I don't know where it fell from. It's not like any trees that big higher. But anyway, you'll see it's off on the left-hand side. It must be, I don't know, 50, 60 feet off of the ground. And it's right around this curve here, not very far, on the left-hand side. And I stopped and took another short video clip of it after I first noticed it was up there. Look at that thing. Isn't that something? And boy, if that would fall down out of there and happen to hit you if you was walking through there. I don't know if it used to grow on the thing it's laying on top of right now or where it come from. But down below that, there's a lot of, on this bank, a left-hand bank of this road, there is a lot of periwinkle, if you're familiar with that. And some people call it myrtle. And the lawn and garden places used to call and ask me if I'd get them some because they sold it as ground cover. I took them a pickup truck full of it. The whole back bed was full of it. They said put 100 in a bundle, and they give me so much for it I can't even remember what it was. I said put 100 in 100, and so I took them 100 bags full of bundles. It had about 100 bundles in each bag. They was not prepared for that, but they were happy and they took all of it. Anyway, I would rather hunt ginseng than myrtle. We used to call it pinching myrtle because you pinch it to pull it out. Now this is the place where you get onto the path back there and walk down to the mouth of Muddy. There it is. And now a sportsman's club got it, and you can't go. It's private property now. But we used to stay down there for weeks at a time. Or not weeks, a week maybe at a time, or 4 days to 5 days. And right up here, this is Jessup's Boat Club. They called it the Boatel. The people put mobile homes in here because it's a nice place to come to fish, to launch your boat into the Monongahela River. And there was a place called a Boatel there. It was a bar and grill. And they play some country music and stuff. Once in a while have dances down there. But now the road we're heading out is going to work its way away from the river. It's going to keep going left and get back up on top of the hill there, get some elevation, and we're going out to a place called Dry Tavern where they have a Giant Eagle, a grocery store, to pick up a few things that we need back at the house. So I thank you for coming with me today on this trip. I appreciate it so much. Gives me something to do.